Hey guys, what's going on? This is Shadow, and today I'm going to be doing a Harpie deck profile. And next to my Black Wings, this is also one of my favorite decks. As you guys have seen on my channel in any of the past videos, I have a lot of Winged Beast decks, so this is probably my second favorite one next to my Black Wings. I have a history with this deck because I've been pretty much playing with Harpies for almost as long as I've been playing with Black Wings, and it's just amazing how much support Harpies have gotten over the years, back from when they just had like original Elegant Egotist, Harpie Lady 1 and stuff, and then like Bird Faced and stuff, Harpie's Hunting Ground, which are like really bad cards, and then eventually it got better and better, and I mean, look where we are now. I mean, with just the release of the new Cyber Size Harpie Lady, this deck really has gotten a big upgrade. Alright, so without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you the deck profile, and if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification, and I'll comment and try to reply back to as many comments as I'm able to. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so this deck is, I'm running 3 Harpie Ladies. You can choose to run the regular Harpie Ladies, or you can choose to run Cyber Harpie if you have any of those, because I know those are somewhat hard to find. I run 3 Harpie Lady 1s because it gives an additional 300 to wind, like the wind boosting, and also I just like the artwork of it better. This is going to be the main deck. This is what you use to search for with Elegant Egotist, and this is pretty much the main card in the deck because since it is Harpies. Alright, so next we have 3 Harpies Queen. This is a good beat stick. This also allows you to search for Harpie's Hunting Ground and allows you to be able to pop and destroy backfield. Now, keep in mind, this deck does not have Harpie Perfumer. I'm just going to tell you right now, so please don't downvote it because I don't have Harpie. I don't run Harpie Perfumer in this deck, only because that is like a $30 card. I personally cannot afford 3 copies of Harpie Perfumer, so if you see it, you don't be like, oh, why aren't you running Harpie Perfumer? That's how you make this deck faster. I know, I'm aware of that. I know this deck can be a little bit faster, but until Harpie Perfumer either gets reprinted or goes down in price, I can't afford it right now. So, alright, then you get 3 copies of Harpie Harpist. This is going to be your deck searcher. When this is in the graveyard, you can add, at the end phase of your turn, you can add a level 4 Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand, presumably your Harpie. This is what you're going to want to do for it. You're going to pull more Harpies into your hand, preferably getting a Harpie Channeler, because Harpie Channeler can actually allow you to swarm and allow you to set up for your like Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon and a lot of other good combos. Alright, so next we have Harpie Oracle. Harpie Oracle is actually a really good card. It's not as good as Perfumer, but this card is named as like Harpie Lady because all these cards are treated as Harpie Lady if it's not the original one. If this card is normal or special summon, I can add a spell or trap from my graveyard to my hand. So that's really good because you can re-add Harpie's Feather Storm to your hand, and you can add any Harpie's Hunting Ground. You can add any of your like Hysteric Party. So she is actually really good because she allows you to bring back Harpie spells and traps to your hand, which I don't play a whole lot of traps. I only play 3 traps in this deck. Alright, so with that, 3 copies of Harpie Channeler. Yes, this actually, I did order another Harpie Channeler. It's on the way right now. I don't have it right now, but I thought I may as well make the deck profile without it. But I do have another one. You're going to want to run 3 because 3 makes the deck really fast. By discarding a Harpie card, you can special summon a Harpie monster from your deck in defense position, and you can also special summon a Harpie's Pet Dragon, which will allow you to get a rank 7 Exceed monster, because she can add her level and make herself a level 7 as well. Alright, then we've got 1 Harpie Dancer. You only need 1 Dancer in this deck because she can just pop herself back to the hand and to the field, and if you have Harpie's Hunting Ground, that's extra, backfield destruction. Alright, so now we have Harpie's Pet Dragon, like I showed before. Harpie's Pet Dragon is really good. You only ever want to run 3 in a deck, or run 1 in a deck because it does clog. I only run the 1, but he's still really good because it can set up for your Exceed monster. It can set up for your rank 7, like Mechafana Beast, Dracosac, or Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, which I do run in this deck. Alright, so now left over, this is the other non-Harpie card. So we've got 1 copy of Barrier Statue of the Storm Winds. This completely locks your opponent down. If you play this, your opponent cannot special summon anything except wind monsters, and 9 times out of 10 they're not going to have wind monsters as special summon. So this will allow you to really put pressure on them, and they cannot use anything. Next is going to be Tempest, Dragon Ruler, Storms. This you can discard a wind monster to the graveyard and add a dragon monster, so he can search for Harpie's Pet Dragon. And then you can banish 2 wind monsters and or dragon monsters from your hand or graveyard to special summon this, so he can keep coming back. If you control the special summon card, when it returns to the field, this card is banished. You can add a wind dragon, so he is good for searching, and he's also good for continuously coming back. Plus, he's a 2400, so I mean, if you can get him on the field and stuff, you can keep putting pressure on your opponent because you can keep bringing him back by banishing wind monsters and adding Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon to your deck, or even adding another Harpie monster. Alright, so now, yes, we do play the Infinite Loop. I actually don't play Union Carrier in this deck. I'm going to include a Union Carrier in this deck profile, but I generally don't use it in this deck because I actually, like I said before in my test hand for my Blackwings, I find it a little cheap because you can negate pretty much anything, and it's really dumb. So I tried to avoid it as much as possible. Alright, so that's it for the monsters. Let's move on to the spells and traps. Alright, so first is going to be 3 Hysteric Signs. This is the main card in this deck. This will allow you to pull Elegant Egotist and allow you to get Elegant Egotist to your hand to special summon Harpie Lady from your deck or your hand. And it has another neat effect. If you haven't used it the same turn, you can destroy it, have it destroyed, or your opponent destroys it. It adds 3 Harpie cards from your deck to your hand, which is crazy because that's way more fuel and way more stuff for you to be able to bring out more Harpie cards with, which this deck actually really does swarm. Harpie decks have always somewhat swarmed, but this makes it just so much better. Okay, you got your 3 copies of Elegant Egotist. I'm running 3 because I like the idea of being able to have this in my hand, get this out, get it as quick as possible. This will allow you to get your Harpie monsters. And then you've got your 2 Alluring Mirror Split. I run 2 in here. Some people only have to run the 1. I run the 2 because it has a really good effect. And basically, when any of my Harpie monsters are destroyed by battle, I can special summon a Harpie monster from my deck with a different original name. So it constantly replaces the Harpies that you got destroyed. And then when this card is destroyed by a Harpie card effect, so if you have Harpie's Hunting Ground and you pop it and destroy it, you can target a Harpie monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So it's a good way to bring out Harpie monsters, and also it's a good way to, search your deck and thin it. Okay, then I've got 2 copies of Harpie's Hunting Ground. I only run 2 in this deck because this can be bad because it has a priority and mandatory effect. If you don't have anything on the field to destroy, you have to destroy this card, which is the only bad downside to the card, is that you have to destroy it. Okay, so then for the generic, as I call them, the basic cards, you got Swords of Revealing Light to stop your opponent for at least 3 turns. I got 1 Call by the Grave to just banish a card from my opponent's graveyard to make sure they don't use their effect. 1 Lightning Vortex, which is kind of like my Regeki for now since I don't have another one. And then I've got 1 Harpie's Feather Duster to destroy backfield. Alright, that's it for the spells. Let's move on to the traps. And I know I said 3 before, but I actually run the 5 traps in here, and the only 5 that you're going to need. So, 3 Harpie's Featherstorm. This card is really cheap and really just overpowered. If you have a Harpie monster in the field, if you're going first, your opponent draws their card, you activate this, and your opponent cannot activate any effects until the end of the turn. Basically, it shuts them down. And that's what I love about it. Is it's a good card to have in the opening hand, and it's so evil because of how good it is. And then last but not least, for the spots, you got 2 Hysteric Parties. You just discard a card and you special summon as many Harpie Ladies as you want from the graveyard. This is a really good card because this brings back cards from the graveyard, which allow you to get up for if you want to get the infinite combo, or if you want to get Harpie's Phantasmal Dragon. This is also another good way to do it. Also, if you have Harpie's Hunting Ground on the field and you play this, it's only going to affect once. So you can special summon 4 monsters, but it's only going to activate the 1 time, which is really good and works in your favor. Alright, that's it for the monsters and spells. Let's move on to the extra deck. So far I've got 1 copy of Cyber / Harpie Lady. This is an amazing card because this turns one of your Harpies into a tuner, and when a spell or trap is activated, it's a quick effect. I can target a monster my opponent controls or a Harpie monster and return it to the hand. And so she basically, in other words, just becomes Harpie. The card's effect. She returns stuff to the hand. So if you've got stuff that you can return in your hand, if they activate a spell or trap, you can pop one of yours and return theirs to the hand, which just shuts them down completely. And I only run one in here just because I was only able to get the one, because this is actually somewhat expensive, believe it or not. I got 2 copies of Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. Also, I meant to explain. If I didn't explain it properly, I apologize. I can use it as a tuner, and then while it becomes Harpie Lady, obviously, just like every other card. When a spell or trap card is effect is activated during the damage step, you can target a monster your opponent controls. So during the damage step, you can pop a monster you have and then pop a monster that they have and return it to the hand. And so that's really, really good for that effect, trust me, because then it puts pressure on them and it makes it to where they can't activate their effects during the damage step, which a lot of them will always be doing. So you've got 2 Harpie's Pet Phantasmal Dragon. This is the main card in this deck. It requires 3 level 4 winged beast monsters or wind monsters. This negates your opponent cannot target this or a Harpie monster with effects or attacks, and it's basically continuously a 2000 attack that will attack your opponent directly. There's really no way to get this thing off the field unless you Dark Hole or Raigeki it, or just something that's like board wipe, which is really, really good. Alright, then next I've got a Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, because if you're playing with Mai's cards, you gotta have a Joey card in here. This basically burns your opponent for 400 for every single time they do anything. If they so much as breathe, play a card, anything, they lose 400. Then I've got 1 Phantom Mecha Beast Dracosac. This is good because this creates tokens. The tokens can be used for the infinite loop or whatever you want to use them for. It's really good because it creates the 3 tokens that you're going to want. I do run Gaia Dragon, the Thunder Charger. Nobody really anymore would run this. I actually like this card because of the piercing effect, and it's a rank 7, so it does help. And then that's it for the rank 7s. Now we're going to go on to the other ones. 1 Tornado Dragon to destroy a spell and trap on the field. Lightning Chidori, which allows you to send a set card back to your opponent's deck. Castel, which sends a face-up monster back to the deck, or it flips a monster and puts it face down. Ice Beast Zephyron, which does the same, which can negate all your opponent's monsters' effects during your turn and stuff, and she actually gains attack equal to it. 2 Harpie's Conductor. Now you can run one if you want. I run 2 just because I like the effect. And basically, if a Harpie monster you control be destroyed by battle or by a card effect, I can destroy a spell or trap I control instead. So I can negate what they're doing if they want to destroy it, and I can just destroy one of mine instead. Like if you want to destroy Hysteric Sign, you can do that, and then you can get the 3 Harpie cards from your deck to your hand. And it can only activate the effect once per turn. If another face-up Harpie monster I control is returned to the hand, I can special summon monster. I can return their special summon monster they have. So she's really good for that effect, to be able to build field presence. And if I want to get extra cards, I can destroy Hysteric Sign, and I can get those 3 Harpie cards, or I can bounce a card back to their hand. Okay, we got Smorg Bird of Sovereign just for the Union Carrier and the Misvalia combo. Your 1 Union Carrier. And then last but not least, I like playing with these. I don't care what anyone says. I think they're really cool, and it kind of adds flavor to it. Great Fly. Because Great Fly gives your wind monsters an additional 500 attack points, and which is really, really cool, and I like that. I like to be able to buff up my creatures a little bit. A lot of people aren't really going to be playing Great Fly because it is outdated, but I actually still like playing it just because of that boost. And plus, it allows you to get a level 4 winged beast or wind monster from your deck and add it to your hand. So it allows you to search for it. Alright, that's going to be it for the extra deck. And that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is one of my favorite decks, like I said, next to my Black Wings, because of how consistent it is and just how fun it is. And Harpie monsters really have come a long way since the start of the game, since they came out in Metal Raiders. It wasn't really, you could have a Harpie deck, but it was literally only the 3 cards. Now, just the sky's the limit because of all the different ways that you can play Harpies. You can play like You can play Gen X Harpies if you wanted to. I don't know anybody. You can play Black Harpies, which is like Black Wings and Harpies. You can play Miss Valley Harpies. I mean, you can play anything that you want, and that's what makes this deck really, really fun. Alright, that's it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and with that, see you guys next time.